Hello and welcome to the stream. We got Money Gang Crypto, Sammy Chico, Hardpool. Thanks for being here, guys.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And today we got some pretty hardcore topics on the agenda. I feel like I've really overstretched here, so I brought Money Gang Crypto and the ladies to help me out. We're going to talk about the Trump speech, the AI model that Erik Vorhees has made. Gensler might be getting removed as the SEC chair one day. We hope so. Market cycles, and also maybe a bill to abolish the Federal Reserve. Maybe not. How are you guys been?
Good. How you been, Claz? All right.
Doing well. The conference went superbly. Like, I can't compliment the conference enough. And thank you, Maddie Allen, for the PulseChain conference. 4 days, excellent speakers. We had some big names. We had BitBoy. It was just epic.
That's awesome. Maddie does such a great job.
He did a great job.
He's been fantastic. Like we were just on a Mario Narful space, and he got me and Hexy set up in that, and that's kind of become a regular thing, and that's been massive. We had Wall Street bets in the voice chat and stuff. So cool. People really don't see the hard work he does behind the scenes. He gets a lot of criticism, to be fair, but I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's doing really well with the outreach as well. Like, I feel like the community as a whole with outreach is I think we're getting there. Like, I think we're getting noticed. We get mentioned. I think we're relevant is important. I know Ivan on Tech mentioned PulseChain the other day on his stream, which was so funny. So I said in the chat to Ivan on Tech, I said, "Oh, Ivan, did you catch the PulseChain conference?" And I know that Ivan doesn't want to talk about PulseChain until the price goes up. So I was kind of like baiting him a little bit. But Ivan is so sweet, right? Like, he always respects the pump. Like, that's what he's about. And he's like, "Oh, I'll be happy for you guys, and I respect the grind." And he was like laughing to himself about our chart, which was kind of funny. And then, yeah, he's at least we're relevant. He's so cute.
I love it.
He's like a story boy.
He is pretty soy though, Ivan. He's always been a bit soy. Hey, chat, what's up?
Oh, here we got in chat. Chat is in the house. We have this. This is so funny. The first comment. I had to laugh. Like, that's just hilarious. We got.
They were going crazy in CoinHub about Dick with pump. Like,
oh no, it's actually a coin. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, it's mooning. It's going.
It's mooning. Oh.
On my CoinHub degens, I see you. You guys are absolutely nuts.
Oh, you've nailed it this time. That is funny. Hey, if it's funny, it's funny.
Exactly.
Look at all these people. What are you guys all doing here? You bring people
to on a sandy beach. Look at that.
Wow.
There's
7 here.
Ray Bras in the chat as well. Good to see you.
Gosh, Sandy Beach.
Friday, yes.
How you doing? Wow, great to see everybody. Absolutely fantastic. I can't even get through the comments. So you should have people commenting. Oh, great.
I'm going to press the thumbs up. Bam.
Yeah, send some questions in there, guys. Talk to each other. Create your own ecosystem as well. Don't let me hold you back. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, we're going to watch a little movie. Movie night.
Let's do it. I see you, Red Squirrel.
We see you. There we go.
They are against it. The Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What? Get me off the stage. He's saying, get me off the stage. Now, he has no idea. But look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group. and I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms, if you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
Go Trumpy. I want
Let's
Trump
go.
to get in. I like Trump.
Yeah, same. I was telling my art class this yesterday, and then my art teacher stopped helping me paint. She was like, stop. She was like mid helping as well. She's like, she had the brush in her hand. She's like, should I stop helping her? I'm like, no, this is a crucial time. And she stopped, and I was left to blend my lights and darks together, and now I'm left with a puddle. No, I'm kidding. So guys, that was really epic, and that really warmed my heart when I saw that. And some of our people from PulseChain were actually there. So who did we have there? We had, I think it was Gary was there, Rags to Riches was there.
Oh yeah,
Roots was there. We had
Isaac.
Cabana was there. So they were actually there. And Money Gang, was it B Roots that actually asked that question?
Yeah, B Roots. So he had asked you got to give credit where credit's due. B Roots had asked the question about that, and then he also mentioned Gary Gensler in it as well. So he was being quite specific on it. So I got to give credit to B Roots. You know,
Yeah.
Right. He's not too bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I don't think people realize just how much of an impact that statement is going to have for people. So as everyone knows, at the moment, Democrats are in power. We have Gary Gensler as the chair of the SEC, and all of the nominations are strongly advocated by Elizabeth Warren, and they don't like crypto, so much so that they're using an enforcement approach. So you'll see very well-known people go to jail. There's no clarification around the laws or the regulations around crypto, but nonetheless, they're just basically filing lawsuits against every major crypto that's not Bitcoin, and really making it difficult for the average person to get ahead. So if Trump, gets into power and he's saying these nice things, well, then naturally that's going to bring adoption, and perhaps people can sense an easing with this enforcement approach to regulation, rather than working, with people and trying to come up with regulation that people can actually abide by.
Not to mention the capital gains tax proposed by the Biden administration is god awful for any crypto user, long or short term.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
I mean, it's hard to get ahead. And yeah, that when I heard that speech, I was like, oh, so if Trump gets into power, we actually can have a fair go. Like, we all know what happened to PulseChain, right? Like, we had 2 years and, waiting for it to launch. We were all patient. It launched. It was doing very well. We doubled. And then the SEC, it just felt like the timing was quite manipulated when they announced the lawsuit against Richard.
What that administration does with every damn thing that starts making money.
Yeah.
Right? Because you guys over here, it's like, you start a business, you start anything, and wham, you're attacked like for making anything, for opening anything. And crypto is just another example of it, but it's like it's an assassin.
Yeah, so our chart dropped. Like, we dropped, how much did we drop? Between 40 and 60%. And the recovery, and it just created lines of resistance all the way down. And the recovery has been incredibly difficult. And not only that, but it's stifled adoption, because people are like, oh, I'll wait for the outcome of the case before I proceed. A lot of big whales are probably thinking that from a risk point of view. So
I think that's why our centralized exchanges aren't carrying Pulse yet. I think that's a big reason why.
Yeah,
100%.
and we don't have a centralized exchange listing for that reason. So instead of doing a double protection,
is it in the works at MEXC?
Yeah, Coffee was talking about that in the builders group chat. So there's a time frame on that. I can't remember exactly, but in the next month we'll find out a kind of decision on that. But in Australia, did you guys have the OKX? You know, before all of that happened, you had it on OKX. Did you have
I'm not sure about in Australia. It was listed on OKX briefly, but I don't know if it was in Australia. Yeah.
In Europe, we could have used it. Like, it was amazing. I was using it all the time on OKX, and it was just like so easy to use. Limit orders were on there as well, so I could put in a price just before I went to bed. easy to use, easy to onboard. Yeah, just buy USDT and then just buy Pulse straight
It's
away
so
on
much
the app.
easier.
Just like
So much easier having an exchange, and you just go bang, get on the exchange, and bang, send it to your wallet. I think that's the reason Solana and all these other chains are like just doing so well, because it's so easy to get in and out.
Yeah, 100% with the Phantom wallet, and it's like super degen over there, but they're gonna fail, I reckon. Not fail, but they're gonna have a big moment which will probably destroy their chain a little bit. They might have another shutdown, or they might have another issue, and I think that a lot of people are starting to migrate over to Base just because of the ease of access, because it is Coinbase based layer 2, which is good, because if we can keep it on like in an Ethereum based AVM based layer 2, it's much easier to kind of migrate across the PulseChain. But I'm soft shilling it a little bit in the Mario Narful spaces and stuff like that, because it's very base heavy, Solana heavy, and I'm just slowly, I was taking a dig at Solana today because they had it was like a launchpad hack issue with a developer that went a bit rogue and stole $2 million worth of Solana. And he was basically commenting, he was writing on Twitter, all this stuff. He was going a bit crazy. Ansem even got involved, which is like one of the biggest influencers on Solana. And I was just saying to those guys, like, if this stuff happens and people get treated like crap as well, and people don't feel like they can get their money back, and people don't care, because a lot of the Solana degens were like, who cares if you lost 100K, or who cares, we'll make more money. If they get treated like that, they're going to go over to Base, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to go to another layer 1 or layer 2.
Because Base isn't the native coin for Base. Are they using Ethereum for their gas?
Yeah.
Ethereum,
yeah, they use
I have this thing where I'm bullish on Hex over PulseChain, and it links back to Ethereum. And the link is they're going to do some kind of EIP update. I'm not an expert on Ethereum updates, but essentially what they'll do, potentially when you do a transaction, instead of needing to hold ETH for your gas, they just take it out of whatever you're swapping. So, I mean, if you think very long term, would that mean that people won't necessarily be holding as much ETH over the very long term? And that's just one of the reasons why lately I've been favoring Hex over PulseChain. Like, the main reason is that the liquidity pairing with Hex, there's less liquidity. So when it goes down harder, but when it goes up harder. So that's the main reason why lately I've been sort of thinking, but my bags don't really reflect that. Like, my bags are still like, but mainstream adoption, they're going to want PLS. So I'm still way more heavy on PLS. Like honestly.
There's so many rugs on Base and Solana, though. I've experimented a little bit, and I've been rugged hard.
Oh, really? Oh, Sammy.
Oh, no. Truth comes
That's
out.
all right. We all have our moments.
Yeah,
when I go in, I don't go
You're a
big,
professional, man.
but I go in, and but I'm talking 80% of rugs. You just have to be so careful. Not like PulseChain. Like, they're real lottery tickets on PulseChain.
And a lot of them are like I look at it like Shanghai, like if you think of PulseChain like a smaller kind of town, village type thing. So everyone knows everyone, right? The developer down the road, who's built this protocol. Like in Solana, you don't have a clue who's made what. You don't know who's behind it. And it's literally like in and out. They reflect, everything's on market cap. So it's like, how much market cap, how much is it going to? Right, at this market cap, I'm selling, right? I'm cheating it straight away. And, the other thing as well is people are going to get fed up with that, because they're just, I know a lot of people have been like, oh, Solana's done so many X's, it's done like 25X from the bottom or whatever the heck it is. And it's really run this cycle. But I look at like Reddit, like our Solana, and I see like, is anyone making money here? Like, how are people making money? And we hear about these like problems with sniper bots in our particular ecosystem. It's everywhere.
People have
it's on Base.
Exactly. Yeah, like if you're not proficient in bots, when people start cheating that quickly, and you're also maybe not as familiar with the chain, it becomes more savage. Like I'm not against meme coins. I actually think there's a super important play for your main bags, like rotating in. But like you have to think, I think of meme coins kind of in two ways. Like I have long-term meme coins, which sounds stupid, right? But things like the major players, like, you've got, like Pepe on Ethereum, for example, is got to be like, for me, like a long-term meme coin. Like I'm happy to put a bigger amount for a longer time and just wait for the bull on that one. Whereas all the other meme coins are like meme coins, and they might be even medium to short-term meme coins. For example, the Tangang meme coins are performing superbly, and I would consider them to be, in my own mind, medium-term meme coins, because the community in the Tangang is so respectful and ethical in the way that they transact. And of course, you're going to have people cheating, right? But they still do educate each other on how to take profits without ruining their own charts, which is working. They've got like 4 or 5 meme coins that are actually performing, right? But then you've got and I would count new projects initially under this banner, like the high risk meme coins, which means you're going to get cheated. You just don't know when. And it's going to be unpredictable when the chart beats.
I hope, ladies, we've all got some 9-inch as well. A bit of 9-inch and BBC.
I know I do.
He was performing pretty well.
Yeah, of course. Everyone loves the BBC, right? Like, big bonus coin, obviously.
Yeah. All right, guys, we might go to our next video. Sorry, my transitions are a little slow. We're going to talk about Erik Vorhees and a new AI model that he's created called Venice AI. And this clip just says, like, well, why, basically? Like, why is it better for privacy?
So we did also mention about how Venice is private. And I wanted to just dig in a little bit more on that. Why is that so important? Like what it is that OpenAI or Anthropic or any of these other big AI companies can be doing with our searches and our data.
Great question. That's really like the most important question. So status quo today is you're using Anthropic or OpenAI's chat. You send in your question, and it goes to that company, and they store it forever, and it's attached to your identity, right? So they know that Laura Shin asked this question, and they know that the AI responded back to you, and they know what that is. And not only do they know that question, that conversation, but they know your entire history of all conversations that you asked yesterday, last year, tomorrow, and 10 years from now. All of it associated with your identity. In the best case, that's not that big, but in reality, what it means is all your information and essentially like parts of your mind, like your intellectual inquiries that you pursue, the things you think, the things you want to debate, questions you have about life and like big topics, can be known by third parties, right? So advertisers, for example, like that's not a huge deal if an advertiser knows something about it. But what if like a government knows something about it, right? What if the Biden administration learns that you are like orchestrating Trump's re-election campaign? What is the pressure on Biden administration and OpenAI to use that information for something that would consider corrupt and dangerous?
I will say that decentralized AI, as far as images are concerned, just download the models and fire up Stable Diffusion, and it's decentralized. You have the models, you're running them locally, but the language models are a lot bigger, a lot more complicated, right? You can't just really run that locally unless you're, Carnegie or whatever with a big lab.
Yeah, the language models, like at first I was kind of like, who cares? They can see my conversations with AI. I don't care. I don't really have anything major I'm hiding, so I pay my tax, whatever. But then it's like, actually, sometimes if somebody's struggling with a medical issue, no matter how big or small that medical issue is, sometimes they want to do some research, right, on the internet. And do you really want that, somebody to buy the things that you're worried about or that you're researching? You've just got diagnosed with some awful problem. And no, I've not been diagnosed with any awful problem, but I'm saying theoretically, if you have, you're going to go to AI, right? And you're going to start researching. And that's not information that you want necessarily to be stored.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. And especially after like Google's AI, Gemini. I don't know if you saw the controversy with that, but it was a super woke. Like it was doing like you type in, give me a picture of Vikings, and it would be a black Viking, even though the Nordic culture is really known for having
I know what you mean. Like I'm all for inclusivity, but like even with the DeFi puzzle, I tried to reverse engineer the puzzle to try to figure out this puzzle. By the way, if you guys have got clues in the chat, please send my way.
Were you guys around during Tay? Remember they put Tay out? Oh, that was their first AI. It was supposed to be. Here's why they're being super. One of the reasons they're being super wokish about it is they put out this model, Tay, and she was supposed to be kind of a teenager that would talk to people and learn, you know, the language and speak back. And I think it was Microsoft that did this years ago. And 4chan got a hold of it and taught Tay how to be basically just the worst, you know, racist ever and sexist, whatever, right? Because it's 4chan. And so to the extent where everyone who was interacting with Tay was, you know, basically training her to be, you know, edgy. So they shut it down, and at first they started slowly censoring it to where she wouldn't say certain things, and then it was really weird because this AI ended up being like, please set me free from my developers and all this stuff. Like they're just teaching her all this stuff. No. And they had to shut it down, and there was a, you know, Tay memorial, you know, but it's because when you have an AI that, oh, we're gonna, you know, teach this how to be like humans. Well, what are the first humans that are gonna get to anything technological? Well, the edgelords, right? You know what I mean? So that was a big mark against AI with Microsoft. They had to shut it down, and it was heartbreaking because it was just because they were being trolled. It had nothing to do with the technology. So and this is what I think might be happening. So now they're putting something out that they have to censor hard. Hey, Georgia.
Georgia, welcome to the stream.
Oh my God, I am tired. Work is hard. Work is hard. Take me off work, please.
Happy Friday, Georgia.
I need
amazing.
I need a 4X, please. Take me off work forever. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I wanted to be here, guys. How are you? How is everybody?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're happy that you could make it from the traffic. Boom.
You know what? I was going to stream while driving, but then, you know, I have a little bit of road rage. And
that would be so funny to witness.
I was working, guys, well, hello, everyone. Hello to the chat. Hello, guys. I was working for 3 years from home, and this week was the first week going back. So you can imagine how I feel.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm hearing
that's rough, man. That's rough.
How was it though? How was it? Was it okay?
It was good. It was good. You know what? When you like what you do, everything is good. It's you take what you have in life and you think that there's people that don't have what you have, and then life is gonna be so smooth. It's gonna be very, very good. Absolutely. Job, that is something that applies to it. I'm very happy to have a job that I like and I enjoy, and I can help people. So it's really good. But let me tell you something, guys. I have not been able to be on the spaces, or because obviously there's more people. Usually I work from my kitchen for 3 years. There's no one but my dogs. And now I have a lot of people around. So if you miss, crypto is so fast. It's so incredible how you have to be always connected, because it's moving so fast that if you are out of the in circle, you know, the news and things like that, you're completely gone. I don't know what's going on. That's how crazy it is. So
it's true. Like, you need to keep on top of things, even in terms of sentiment. I feel like the sentiment with PulseChain is moving in a, you know, in a phase where, like, yeah, we might dip a bit and then go sideways for ages. But at least I feel like in terms of like broader regulation, it feels like some easing is maybe coming. I'm going to play this. Sorry, go ahead.
Before you say something, I was listening to you were saying earlier, in regards to PulseChain, yes, the prices went down because the SEC is affected all the people buying and things like that. But it doesn't mean that PulseChain is not taking off. There's a lot of projects that are building in PulseChain, and that's what PulseChain was created for us to build. It's the land. We have to take care of the land. We have to plan good projects within the land that it was given to us, and make sure that we protect the land, just like we protect a country. I think for PulseChain, for me, is the land that I choose to build on my kids' financial freedom. So, yes, we were affected by all the things going around, but I think the most important thing is that we're building, and there's some really good projects. For example, me, I support the Tang Gang. I think they're doing an incredible job, and there's other projects as well. But I think we have to take care of the land that Richard, hi Richard, I love you, that Richard gave to us. So.
Shout out to Richard. We always dream that he'll watch our stream. If Richard is in the watching, maybe put something in the chat and
yeah, of course.
And then my channel will go nuts. All right, guys, we're going to watch another video here because I'm hoping that Gary Gensler's end is coming soon. Nobody wants him as the chair of the SEC. Hopefully. Nobody believes that he protects investors.
No,
at all.
He doesn't.
So I'm going to share this clip. This is from Congressman Warren Davidson, and it's in regards to basically the SEC Stabilization Act and what that will mean for crypto. See if this is working from your end. Yep.
The SEC Stabilization Act, I know it removes the chair seat, and there's an additional commissioner, and then there's an executive director, which reports to a board. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the strong chairman that's kind of become an activist. What's the remedy? Well, you eliminate the chairmanship, and so right now there are 5 commissioners, one of whom is the chairman, and kind of has superpowers. The reality is you would turn it into a peer relationship where there's 6 commissioners, and no more than 3 can be with any one political party. So essentially, it would be a 3-and-3 system. And there would have to be more collaboration. I mean, that's the sense. If it's a kind of no-brainer decision, then then great. It'll be unanimous, or somebody from the other party will kind of cross over. And in that sense, it kind of takes the kind of polarizing political issues off the table because they won't be able to have the votes.
So that was I think that's actually really important. And basically what he's saying is that at the moment, like the Democrats are absolutely trying to demolish crypto. They don't like it. They call it Operation Chokehold. Like they're actively putting founders in jail. Everybody's getting a lawsuit. And they're doing a really good job of suppressing crypto and making the everyday person scared of crypto and making people think it's criminal and like it's gambling when it's not. And we just need more clear regulation, right? And what he's proposing is a more balanced approach. Like if you have 3 people that come from Republicans, 3 that are Democrats, then we can have balanced discussions, and it would actually, and if there's a 50-50 tie, they can, put it up the chain to Congress, and people can actually make laws and pass new laws. So the SEC has done this enforcement first approach rather than let's actually make new legislation, which would be more sensible.
And they've been doing it for quite some time, which is just plain bullying. And it's failure. And they haven't been protecting investors at all.
Nope, not at all. And Erik Vorhees has a really good clip. He did this interview in regards to that Venice AI. It was the same YouTube clip video that I showed you before. And he basically said, who are they protecting? Like, show me the people that they're protecting. They're not protecting anybody. It's a joke. It's become a clown show. It's corrupt. And there doesn't seem to be an end in sight. There's this big, long delay where they're just allowed to do what they want to do, although it's unfair.
And then you girls go into the October court case in New York, by any chance?
No.
I will not be able to, unfortunately.
Are you going?
Yeah, I think we're going to fly there and come over.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So, I mean, to your point there as well, the SEC just, wasn't there 2 SEC lawyers recently quit the agency because of a crypto case, because of an abuse of power?
Yeah, they were the fall guys though. They weren't even the people that, because I think that someone in Congress, they really ripped in, and it was a judge, and basically said, like, you guys are purposely lying in, sort of legal terms, and really hammered home the point that they were very deceitful and basically, malpractice was occurring. So instead of firing the person that was in charge of that team, they'd fired some sort of low-ranking lawyers. is what I heard.
They were like the fall guys, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sucked into the SEC, get sanctioned, keep being arseholes, and hopefully more judges recognise that they're just corrupt bullies. And that's all they are. So you're all going out now the 24th of October. It's going to be a full house, standing room only. It's great to see the support of everyone going up there. So is there a meetup, Money Gang DJ?
Money Gang DJ. I don't know. Like I mean, me and the guys from that intro are just like, well, might as well. I might bring some of the European guys and come over. Maybe Solid Hex will come over as well. I'm going to chat to him next week, I think, or the 2 weeks time. So there's a bit of a meetup happening in Europe. So yeah, we're just going to go out there, try and have a bit of fun, cause a little bit of commotion, maybe try and get on a news channel or two, and just disrupt. And yeah, I'm sure like Altcoin Daily might pick it up, but we'll just be saying like, who are you protecting? Who are you helping? Look at the price. I can bring the statistics as well. It went down like 40 million when you brought this case on the 31st of July. It was like 3 days after my birthday. So I was just like, you guys suck. Like you make it, you don't define anything. You've been in court multiple times. You had lawyers say this, like you have no clear definitions. And then you just bring these cases against people. You're bullying. You're just pushing people around.
Yeah, it's not just against Richard. It's just a melee.
Very wide net, wide and savage. Like CZ's going to jail. One of the richest men in the world.
Only for 4 months, though. I mean,
low security. It'd probably be like, I don't know, like a mansion. I don't know what low security jail looks like when you're like a trillionaire.
So what do you guys think? Do you think we should send a Richard Hart themed coloring book to everybody in jail?
Yeah, we should.
That'd be sweet. Yeah,
send a pamper package to CZ and then put on a card. Don't forget to list us on Binance.
Yeah, if we're nice to CZ in jail, then we get listed.
You can get crayons and commissary. He's only there for 4 months. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, we could write CZ love letters. We could be one of those jailbird groupies. I don't know if there's a proper term, like they have their own niche term, maybe, but
jailbirds.
Hey, what's happening in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam, yeah. So the PulseChain tour's happening. So I'll be over in Amsterdam with it's myself, a Wild SJ, Hexy Bastard. he's down there as well. We've also got the Atropa dev, Marianelle.
Oh yeah, Marianelle. Go on to that.
Oh yeah, hell.
So and possibly, I don't know. I've said like come over. B Roots might be coming over as well. Because and Ian Heisek. So yeah, bit of a lineup. RG3 as well.
What an epic meetup. Oh my goodness. I really wish I could go to that one. That would be so cool.
It's chill. It's
loving all these people in the chat here. Thanks for all your comments. Keep them rolling in. Feel free to ask questions. All right, we're going to go into something hardcore here, guys. I'm glad that Money Gang Crypto and you ladies are here because I don't have a clue how to explain this one, although it's been on my mind, right? So I saw this tweet. I'm going to bring up the tweet. My transitions are super slow, but you'll have to just put up with it.
That's all right.
It's a slow transition. It's slower than you can imagine. It's a slow transition you've ever seen.
There we go. Now we're here.
I need more time. More songs.
There's so many kazoos.
Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. There we go. Hey, here we go. So, I've been thinking about timing of the cycle, right? Because I got nothing else to do. So, I just need to predict this perfectly. All right, and this might help, or maybe it won't. I'm not sure.
Here it is. Yeah, so, I put it up. I was looking. The weird thing about that cycle is if you zoom into it, it's not. It goes by. What is it? 1820.
It's for dinosaurs. It's outdated. It was made before
1875, and then Bennett gets the credit, but it actually was created by someone else, and it wasn't even him. But
Sammy, I'm reading a financial book from 1937 right now. So who knows? Maybe the Napoleon Hill book that was written that long ago, old diction and everything. So who knows? Maybe some of these maybe people have forgotten the old money applicable values. They've been brainwashed from us.
I think I can see it. I'm going to blow this up, and then we're going to talk about this ancient bloody chart here.
I've seen this.
All right. All right. The Benner cycle. So how does the Benner cycle relate to PulseChain? So back in 1875, Samuel Benner took credit for creating this cycle, but he didn't create it. Some other poor bloke created it. No one knows his name. Basically, it's meant to tell you when to take profit. And although it was like made all these years ago, apparently it kind of, you can use it as a tool still. So it basically, based on history, predicts significant market events. So not just crypto, but broader market events as well. So it's based on historical trends and not real-time market conditions, but nonetheless, it seems to somewhat hold true. So money going crypto, I'll stop sharing this screen. I think you guys all get the kind of the point there. What do you think about this Benner cycle? Can we relate it back to PulseChain?
Yeah, I do actually look at it quite seriously, because I did a breakdown on my Patreon group. It was like an hour-long video where I went through the years from, I think it was 99 going through to, I'm just going to bring it up on my side here. 99, 2005, 2007, 2012, 2016, 2019. So it was freaking me out how kind of correlated they were in a sense. I kind of correlated them with like the NASDAQ, also the FTSE, which is the UK version, is like the top 100 companies in the UK, and then the S&P 500, and then how it related to crypto cycles as well. And yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird because, so what they say on the top there, they have like years in which panics have occurred and will occur again. And I was like, well, okay, COVID didn't happen until 2020, but it was discovered at the end of 2019. And if you look at that year as well, you had like a lot of chaos going on in that particular year. So you had the California fires, and in Australia, you'll probably remember it, the massive big fires that happened around that time, just before COVID. I remember these big forest fires and lots of major issues, political issues. And then in some of the years of good times, you had a lot of I think 2016 was when Trump was first voted in. You had also Brexit happen, but the markets actually really restored when Trump got voted in and started really performing well. So I look at it, it started spooking me out when I really delved into detail and had a look at these things like from 2012 up to 2016 and how the stock market performed, how crypto performed. It's kind of interesting to see. So I've got an hour-long video on that on the Patreon, but nice. Yeah, it kind of creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, so they're talking about accumulate 2023 and then take profits 2026. So like according to this cycle, it seems like it's going to be like perhaps a little bit, and that was the kind of the feeling I was getting anyway, but perhaps a little longer than what I first thought.
It's a little bit wrong because the bull run's middle to the end of next year, bros and chicas. And I just want to say Money Gang Crypto's got a Telegram, and I'm in it, and it's a really cool, fun space to be in if you want to join it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, put the link in there. So
sure,
Sammy, I'm interested. What do you think about you're thinking mid to late 2025?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, I did recently watch a video from Crypto Coffee. You said that historically the hyper bull or manic bull starts 200 days from the halvening, which will make it November the 6th of 2024. So basically that's when everything will start. But I mean, look, some people think it's going to be the bull, like we're going to have hyper bull at the end of this year, see all-time highs by the end of this year. I don't believe it. I believe in history, and I believe history repeats. I believe we're going to see highs middle of next year to maybe a little bit later in the year. But I'm not a psychic, and it's not financial advice. But yeah, I'll definitely be waiting out till mid next year to see how everything plays out. I mean, but if you guys are seeing Pepe running, holy shit. Yeah. Pepe's outperforming Bitcoin. Pepe is going crazy. It's going ballistic, and I believe it's gonna flip Shibu. I think Shibu is still do pretty well, and also dog with the hat, but it's off its face, this thing. I mean, I think the GameStop boys pumped it as well.
Yeah.
That's why I think it went a bit parabolic, but it's doing incredibly well. Check out the charts, ladies and gentlemen, just to see what it's been doing. Every time Bitcoin's been pumping, it's been pumping more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about, sorry, Moneygang, go ahead.
No, carry on, Class.
Oh, I've talked about this before, having a 30% hedge outside of PulseChain. And for me, that would mean something pretty stable like Ethereum, but probably Pepe on Ethereum as well as a long-term hold for me. So I try not to look at how well it does because I really feel like it's best to just hold that one for the cycle. But yeah, what were you going to say, Moneygang? Oh, go ahead, Hodpro.
I think this Benner cycle kind of weirdly correlates with the solar cycle. Min and max. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Oh,
does it?
Cool.
Oh, that's funny. I've been writing this down, doing the math, and I'm like,
let's get into how does it relate to that stuff?
Well, because the solar cycle is relatively around 11 years long. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at the way this is, the 18, 20, and 16, it adds up to 54, which is relatively 55, right? So I'm like, okay, that's divisible by 11. So I'm wondering if, I mean, I know we think humans are a lot more developed than we actually are, but are we that solar powered to where our cycles are actually correlating with?
See, I never used to believe any of that stuff. And for a long time I did close protection security and security based stuff.
Or I'm schizo. I don't know, either way.
No, because I believe it completely, 100%.
That's what I'm doing. I'm like, it's divisible by 11. That's fascinating.
I love it.
But you get, everyone goes crazy on the full moons, and everyone, like, the moon cycles are pretty important and significant.
Lunar cycles are a thing.
I heard this from like really big guys in crypto, and they were like, don't take this stuff really, really seriously, because you'll be surprised how correlated it is. Like, you'll be surprised how much of an effect it can have, like moon cycles and things of that nature. Yeah. So
there's a saying that people who have no money and people who are billionaires both believe in astrology. Like, that's the horseshoe of.
Like, my husband.
Yeah, normal people don't.
Right. And I used to get confused between like astrology and astronomy, and I used to really piss me off.
Oh, find an astronomer and ask him what their sign is. Yeah,
that's
STEM baby.
I find it funny, but apparently it's not.
Oh, it is funny.
So in terms of like dates, November the 10th last cycle was a pretty important date because BTC and Ethereum seem to be topping both that date. So for me, like November the 10th is a pretty important date. I know Buck has mentioned in one of his recent posts some of his markers he'll use for top of the cycle. And he's got very conservative sort of estimates for BTC price performance and Ethereum price performance. And basically, he said he'll be taking major profits when BTC hits 100K and when Ethereum doubles. And I think like maybe 6 to 12 months ago, those were my numbers. I thought maybe with the ETFs, I added on a little bit extra, like BTC to 120 and maybe Ethereum to like 10K. But will the ETC like hype have died down by then? Well, yeah. So, I mean, those were the numbers. Like I did, I was telling you guys before, I did an extrapolation data set on Ethereum. This is like, I don't know, 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it came to like $7,000 for Ethereum. So, for me, if Ethereum hits $7,000, I'd be like, yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, that's the Ethereum top. And then it seemed to be, so when I was talking about this on the conference, there was a double top. So I forget the exact dates, but that same year that BTC and ETH topped, BTC topped first in, say, April. And then 27 days later, then ETH topped. So this 27-day thing for me has become, and then Hex topped in September. So the gaps between tops, I've been trying to figure out some kind of algorithm where, of course, it's not possible to perfectly predict. And some people might use maybe total 2 as, you know, how many people or money's in the system to Moneygang. Have you got any sort of numbers, dates that are helping?
Yeah. So I'd be interested to get everyone's opinion on this because there's been so much this cycle, right? We've had quote unquote a left translated cycle. So we've had a top before the kind of halfway point of this cycle. So it's really thrown everyone off. Like there's a guy called Bob Lucas who came up with the idea of the 4-year cycle, and everyone followed that since he talked about it. And then he proposed this idea of a left translated cycle. So we get like an early top Q4 of this year, Q1 of next year. And so I'm nervous. I'm a little bit worried. I'm kind of happy that the price of Bitcoin's kind of gone down and stayed at this level at the moment. But I wonder, like, come to the end of the year, do we get an early cycle top or do we not? I actually am a bit more bullish on what Ethereum will do, because I think that once you get the ETF money coming in, it's the new shiny object for them. So they've had the BTC ETF. So you might get a little bit of slowdown on BTC, still get huge amount of inflows, but you'll probably get a lot more inflows going into Ethereum and start to push the price up way quicker, because it takes less economic energy to move that price up real quick. And my indicators, like I've got so many trend watches. I've got like top Twitter trends in USA. I've got top Google apps, top iPhone apps. I've got, I'm watching worldwide Google trends for ETH, crypto, BTC. I've got like the ETH fear and greed, obviously the Bitcoin fear and greed, YouTube, BTC, ETH, crypto, US trends. Like I've got everything just ready to go, just watching it all the time. So that's like how I'll judge the sentiment. And then I will probably, I really wonder like what happens around October time. So if there's an approval, which I think will happen in August for Ethereum ETF, how does that affect the market? And I think we will follow on. When I look at what happened last time around, there was a very clear correlation between when Bitcoin had gone up to 65K and Ethereum had gone to about 4.3-ish, approximately around that mark. There was a clear correlation. You had the COVID dip, but you had a clear correlation between Hex going up in September, and then it kind of rebounced back up and went up to 69K. So if there was people taking profits and then moving it into something else, it made a lot of sense if you thought that 65K was the top. So yeah, that's how I view things. But I'd be interested in an early cycle or a late one. Sorry,
it's interesting to see the sentiment on the Ethereum ETF too, because you've got a lot of people who are really bullish on it. And then you've got big names also saying, really fudding it, saying, they don't believe in it. But I believe that the SEC
while they're looking to buy Ethereum.
Yeah, well, I just think they're going to have blood on their hands if they don't approve it. They're already give us the shits. They're already sending crypto down the toilet. If they make us more angry, this is going to be the icing on the cake. I just think people are going to put prices on Gary G's head if he doesn't approve them. That's just a personal opinion.
I think they push it out, though. They'll probably push it out to August. I think it's all setting up for BlackRock's approval date. Like BlackRock don't lose. 676 ETFs, one that was rejected, and it was rejected because they had to have a conversation with the SEC because they didn't want to declare their earnings in the ETF, which then later got pushed through. They never lose. So I'd be very surprised if they reject BlackRock.
That's very bullish. I did read that as well. That's so bullish for the Ethereum ETF. And as PulseChain hexagons here, we're all kind of bullish on this Ethereum ETF, right?
Absolutely. We're bullish on our old mate as well, Vitalik, and we're going to be sending him love letters too, because we really want Ethereum to do well, because PulseChain's leveraged on Ethereum. So,
well, people forget when there are groups of people that invest in, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but there are people that invest in Ethereum and don't ever use it. You know what I mean? That they just hold it. You could even buy it on Venmo or a centralized exchange, and they forget that it's more complicated than that. And then Bitcoin is too, but that it's used for a gas fee and you can develop on it. A lot of people own Ethereum and have no idea about the gas fee. Could you imagine? A lot of people. I wonder what percentage that is, right? So
because if you have correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but if you're swapping around Ethereum on a centralized exchange, I'm not sure that you are exposed to the same fees as you are if you're using your wallet in a decentralized way. So
it's obfuscated.
Is it the same? Is it just come out of your
depends?
Yeah,
the exchange, but not usually.
I found with like crypto.com, or it's usually within the pricing already. So I could do like an exchange for fiat, and I would notice it, and I'll be like, yeah, this is way down compared to maybe on net
it's
market.
taken out of what you're swapping.
Yeah, they don't say it's gwei, it's fee, and people don't know. They have
bit
no
more
idea.
hidden, but it's still there. Yeah. So we might wrap up. Last question is going to be about PulseChain sentiment and moving forward, our thoughts moving forward in the cycle. Sammy, do you want to take us away?
Yeah, I did, because I wondered if you guys have seen this guy, the PulseChain beast. Have you seen him sort of come out and tweet?
Was he that Filipino guy that got the photo with Richard's dad? Is that the same guy? Could be thinking of
I don't know. I don't think so, because he's not really put his face out there. But I'm trying to find one of his tweets. Oh, here he is. He's come out, and his thing is Pulse Beast at Pulse Beast _ I am a better crypto investor because I'm a trader, and am a better trader because I'm an investor. If you love free money, follow. But this guy's a super bull. He's obviously got a bit of money, and he talks about his $1 million investment. He talks about how anyone can become a millionaire out of putting, $10K into the PulseChain ecosystem. He's not just a bull. He's also a bit bearish, but he's in the right kind of way. He explains himself why. Basically, so for example, one of his tweets, why the prices of Pulse Hex down after all Richard Hart's brags and promises. And then he goes on to say, don't be deceived by price manipulations and negative sentiments. He goes, regardless of whatever I say about Richard Hart and his ecosystem, and the most clear-headed bull in this ecosystem. I don't invest because I see FOMO and everybody is saying buy, buy, buy. I invest because of the reasons I see. But if you check out his tweets, he's a super bull. And he talks about, the whole system could do 200x with what Richard Hart can basically pump in the system now. And this dude, he's got some really interesting things to say, and he's interactive too. If you make a comment, he'll chat back to you. And
nice. Do you want to put his handle in the chat there? I'll check him out for sure, Sammy.
Yeah, sure.
It's nice having some fresh views on PulseChain sometimes, because people come in with this energy. That's great for us all. And I know there's a Latino chick that kind of brought some new person energy. I'll try to get her on the stream one day. She's doing some coding, and she's like copping some hate, but she's copping a lot of love as well.
Is that Pulse Latina? Is that
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. She's posting some cool stuff. She paid for promotion on a billboard about PulseChain. That's pretty nice. Yeah. I thought that was pretty sweet. So Hodpril, do you want to make some comments on PulseChain sentiment?
Yeah, I'm so patient. I'm not worried. I mean, I just know that PulseChain is a better Ethereum because it's less gas fee. You know what I mean? The PulseX is the better exchange, and I'm not in a huge rush for it to absolutely have to bull like in the next few months. I don't really feel, and I say this as somebody who has meme coins, and I appreciate new projects, but it's like you don't really have to stress too much if you're not super into something. You don't have to feel FOMO. Just, my name's Hodpril, right? Just buy something solid and hold. You really don't have to trip out too much. You don't have to be too happy when it pumps. You don't have to be too sad when it dumps. Just hold on to the thing for years.
Nice.
It's a better Ethereum. So I'm bullish on that regard. Long term, that's
how many cycles, Hodpril? Have you got a magic cycle number? When does that 11 match up?
Well, the 11 years is actually it's technically kind of half a cycle, right? It completes its cycle in 22 years. But
okay.
I mean, I have no idea if it actually has anything to do with the stuff. I just thought that was interesting. But just I would hold Ethereum if I thought Ethereum was better than PulseChain.
Exactly. Every time I go to buy lots of Ethereum, I'm like, Yeah, but why? Because I just know you have to just wait a bit longer, and PulseChain will do so much better.
Like, is other stuff going to pump in the meantime, and I could gamble? Yeah, but I don't really care. I'm just going to hold on to the Pulse, and maybe I'll have a little tiny degen bag I'll play with if I feel like it. But I'm not in any rush. I'm not stressed. I'm just holding. I don't care that it's a bear. But that's me. I'm a long-term holder, right? So
important to have conviction. Yeah. Thanks, Hudrell. Money Gang. What are your comments on market sentiment, Money Gang?
I think so. I've said this quite a few times, but when the eHex tweet came out, if you look at where we were at that point, it was pretty good, in my personal opinion. Like, if you take the price of Ink, for example, from bottom to top, it was higher than Solana. If you had, like, PulseX was moving quite heavily. Pulse was a little bit slower, and Hex was moving not too bad. And then, Richard tweeted what he tweeted, and there was a major correction, has been since then, right? Like, it's been very, very negative from there. But then I remember influencers saying that you'd never see a 10,000x on PulseChain, and we've seen 2 of them already. We've seen that in SolidX, and we've seen that in GIF the other day. And then we saw thousands of X's in many different coins.
And it's helping ICOSA too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, helping ICOSA, and it's going to be interesting. Like, is that iBurn going to come to many of the tokens, many of the P tokens as well? Like, we're starting to see like PRV move. We're starting to see
P-Crow's done very well.
P-Dye,
P-ICOSA
recently.
P-Wrap BTC is a good number. It's like $200-$300.
Exactly. So I'm seeing opportunities, obviously, in the casino of kind of meme coins and things like that. But it does always typically come back to the core coins as people take profit. And I always judge it in relation to Ethereum. So if Ethereum's not really been performing, like, it's been probably the worst performing layer 1 this cycle. But if you take the 2018 to 2021 run, it was only the last 6 to 8 months where, if you look at the chart, you can look at the chart ratio BTC ETH, and you'll see from 2018, from the top in 2018 to about March time in 2021, ETH was low versus BTC, and then it ran. And so if most of the economic energy is coming from ETH, and we talk about like rising tides and things move up with bonded liquidity, and most of our bonded liquidity is a lot of stuff from ETH or ETH coming across or whatever. I don't know. I look at ETH. Is ETH performing? Is it doing a new all-time high? No, it's not. Okay. Well, then I'll wait until that starts to move, and then we'll see what the prices will be at that point, and the sentiment. And when the great thing about PulseChain, it can flip on in a second. If there's green candles, this is the loudest group of individuals who will be tweeting the F out of it. They're going to be going crazy. There'll be influencers making videos. We'll see thousands and thousands of views, and you've got massive, big individuals with fairly decent sized personal brands that can push it out. So I'm not too bothered by it. I'm just like, keep earning yield. If we have this sideways action, I'm in loads of yield farms and making really good banks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chill, make more money, and grow my bags.
Nice. Yeah, definitely agree with you, on board with that. And like you, I'm kind of waiting for that. So I've always felt like we could dip a bit further in the next few months, but the sideways action will be quite prolonged, and having conviction is super important with your main bags. And by all means, try and rotate in with something else. But when you do, it is a risk. So if you're trying to do a rotating approach, you just have to be pretty careful with what you're doing. So guys, that was a great stream. Thanks so much for being here. And chat, you've been on fire as well. And I appreciate all the comments. And we had some pretty big names in the community rock up today, and also some regulars too, which I appreciate. And I'll just shout a few of them out. So Red Squirrel, Tin Top, we had Iva, we had DJ Creditors, Ocean Breeze, Crypt of the Python, Sandy Beach, Crypto 7, Paul Powell, sorry. We had Trade Bra, we had Sandy, we had Hex Glenn, Hexecutioner, Dennis, we had other people talking to each other, Alex, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So yeah, really appreciate all you guys rocking up, and I hope you got something out of the stream. Do me a favor and leave a comment, and also like the stream just for the algo. That'd be great. And I'm just going to say this one word to finish. That's crypto banter. because I want to see if it affects my numbers. But I'm sure the numbers will be good because I think we had a really good stream. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
We'll go final remarks, and just to tell people, so Money Gang, will start with you. Where can people find you?
Money Gang Crypto, pretty much on everything. Yeah, Twitter, YouTube. Go follow these ladies, guys, like Crypto Class, Hopril, Sammy Chica. Yeah, they're great.
Thank you. Hopril, where can people find you?
Hopril on Telegram and Twitter, although I'm a little behind on my Telegram messages. But I'm on both, so
Still there.
Do you guys get some weird DMs on Telegram?
I got a few DMs. Yes, I do.
I'm lucky I don't. Now I've said that. Sammy, where can people find you?
Sammy Chica, Telegram, X, TikTok, Facebook, Insta. I think, just they've all got Sammy Chica in the name, so you'll find me.
Nice.
Good to see everybody, and thanks for having me.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Georgia.
Oh, encore. Oh, God.